Let me tell you something real quick. You keep wondering why life feels stuck, why you're drained, why your dreams ain't moving. It's 'cause you're giving too much of yourself to people who ain't earned it. You're talking too much, you're explaining too much, and worst of all, you're waiting for folks to get you when it's time for you to get going. Listen to me. Focus on yourself, stay silent, and watch God start showing out in your life. You know what I learned the hard way? Not everybody's supposed to go where you're going. I used to share every idea, every plan, every little win with people I loved, and most of the time, they looked at me like I was crazy, told me I was dreaming too big, told me I changed. And you know what? I did change, and that's the point. You see, growth feels lonely because elevation requires separation. Some of y'all are stuck because you're too afraid to be alone. Let me tell you something. Isolation is preparation. When God starts working on you, He don't need background noise. Focus on you. Stay quiet. Move in silence. You don't need to announce every step. You don't need to prove anything. Your work will prove it. Your discipline will prove it. Your results. They gon' shout louder than your mouth ever could. They laughed when I was broke. They mocked when I was grinding. But when God elevated me, they fell silent. That's what happens when you stay focused. Don't chase attention. Don't beg for understanding. And don't ever shrink your vision to fit their comfort zone. Focus on becoming so powerful, so disciplined, so unstoppable, that your silence becomes the loudest thing in the room. You hear me? Stay silent. Stay locked in, and let the world witness what happens when a focused soul meets unstoppable faith. Stop telling small-minded people your big dreams. Everybody ain't gonna see your vision, and that's okay. Let your results speak. Silence is louder than explanation. When you're building something extraordinary, the first mistake many people make is looking for validation in all the wrong places. They start sharing their big dreams with folks who have never dreamed beyond survival. People who live in fear won't understand the language of faith. So when you talk about starting a business, writing a book, becoming financially free, or breaking the cycle your family has been stuck in for generations, they laugh, they doubt, they criticize. Not because your dream isn't real, but because it threatens the small box they've chosen to live in. You've got to protect your vision like it's sacred, because it is. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your becoming. The more you share, the more energy you leak. And the truth is, when you keep telling people what you're about to do, you start giving yourself permission to talk instead of execute. Words are cheap. Execution is priceless. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the art of conserving your power until it's undeniable. When you're really locked in, really focused on building something, you don't have the time or the need to explain. Why? Because explanation is for those who doubt. But when you know who you are and where you're going, you don't need anyone's permission to get there. You let your work do the talking. You let your consistency tell the story. And eventually, the same people who questioned your dream will ask how you did it. The bigger your dream, the quieter you need to be, not out of fear, but out of discipline. Success demands privacy. You don't plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, you trust the process in silence, and one day, that seed turns into something undeniable. Something so big, even your doubters have to look up. Small-minded people don't hate you. They fear what your growth says about their comfort. They'll tell you to be realistic, but realistic is just code for don't leave me behind. Don't be angry with them. Be disciplined enough not to let their limitations become your cage. Let your silence be your armor. Let your actions be your voice, and let your results shake the ground they thought would hold you down. You don't owe the world an explanation. You owe yourself the results. So stop talking, start becoming. Your elevation requires isolation. When God is preparing you for more, He removes distractions. Focus ain't easy, but it's necessary. There comes a point in every person's journey where things start to feel quiet, too quiet. Friends fall away, conversations feel hollow, the noise of the world begins to fade. At first, you think something's wrong. You wonder why people aren't calling like they used to, why you're not invited to things anymore, why your circle feels smaller than ever. But what you don't realize in that moment is this: that silence is sacred, that space is strategic, because elevation doesn't happen in chaos, it happens in stillness. God will often isolate you not to punish you, but to prepare you. He'll strip away the distractions that keep you from hearing Him clearly. The habits, the people, the places that no longer serve your future. He'll start removing them, not to hurt you, but to make room for what's next. Because what you're praying for requires a new version of you, and that version cannot be built in comfort. Elevation demands sacrifice. You can't climb and carry everything at the same time. You've got to be willing to let go of anything that weighs you down, even if it once felt necessary. Growth feels like loss in the beginning, but in truth, it's alignment. You're being aligned with purpose, with power, with peace. Isolation isn't loneliness, it's a reset. A season where you look in the mirror and finally see yourself without the opinions, expectations, or energy of others clouding your view. That's when the real work begins. That's when focus becomes your fuel. While others are busy chasing noise and validation, you're being molded in silence. That's how warriors are built. That's how vision becomes reality. See, everybody wants to shine, but few are willing to sit in the dark and do the work that shining requires. They want the platform without the process, but you're different. You've been called to something greater, and that calling comes with a cost. The cost is discipline. The cost is focus. The cost is isolation. But here's the thing. When you embrace the isolation, you begin to hear your inner voice louder than the world's noise. You start moving with clarity, not confusion. You don't rush. You don't compete. You don't beg. You build. So if you're in that quiet season right now, don't panic. Don't try to fill it with distractions or noise. This is the sacred part of your story, the hidden work, the unseen grind. And when it's time, the world will see what you were working on in the dark, because elevation ain't loud, it's intentional, it's focused, and it always begins in isolation. You ain't got to announce every move. Powerful people don't talk, they show up. Stay low, stay disciplined, then blow their minds. In a world addicted to attention, silence has become a superpower. Everybody wants to be seen, heard, and praised before they've built anything real. Social media has tricked people into thinking that progress must be public, that validation equals value. But the truth is, the most powerful moves are made in silence. The strongest players don't talk about their strategies. They execute them. You don't need to tell the world what you're working on. You don't need to explain your next step. You're not obligated to post your process, to prove your worth, or to seek permission to evolve. Every time you open your mouth to announce your plans, you weaken their impact, because you shift energy from execution to explanation. And while you're explaining, others are building. Powerful people understand timing. They know that the work done in silence holds more weight than words shouted into empty spaces. Discipline isn't loud, mastery isn't flashy. It's built behind closed doors, repetition, rejection, refinement. That's what real growth looks like: quiet, focused, unshakable. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you disappeared, fell off, gave up. Use that doubt as fuel. Disappear not because you're defeated, but because you're developing. While they scroll and gossip, you sharpen your edge. You train in silence, think in silence, build in silence, and when the time is right, you don't return with words. You return with results. You don't have to prove anything. Not to them, not even to yourself. Your life will prove it. Your transformation will prove it. Your results will speak a language no critic can silence. Staying low isn't weakness. It's strategy. A seed grows in darkness before it breaks through the surface. A masterpiece isn't revealed while it's being painted. It's revealed when it's finished. You're not hiding. You're forming. You're building your foundation so solid that no storm, no opinion, no distraction can shake it. So protect your vision, guard your energy, keep your progress private. Don't let temporary applause cost you permanent impact. When you're truly focused, the need to announce disappears. You realize that greatness doesn't beg to be seen. It shows up and shifts everything without saying a word. One day, those same people who overlooked you will ask how you did it. They'll call it sudden, but you'll know it wasn't. You were just too focused to explain. Too disciplined to brag, too busy becoming. Stay low, stay locked in, and when the time comes, blow their minds. Not with noise, but with undeniable, unshakable, unstoppable results. Clarity comes in silence. When you stop talking and start listening to your own soul, the answers show up. You've just been too noisy to hear them. In today's world, silence is rare. Everything around you is loud. Social media, news, opinions, arguments, expectations. The world constantly demands your attention, your reaction, your voice. But in all that noise, one thing gets lost: your inner voice. That quiet whisper that tells you what's real, what's right, and what's truly meant for you. Sometimes the problem isn't that life is unclear, it's that you haven't been still long enough to hear what it's trying to say. When you're always talking, always explaining, always reacting, your mind becomes cluttered. There's no space for insight to land, and that's why silence is not emptiness. It's space. Space for clarity, peace, and direction to rise. You can't solve a problem in the same mental chaos that created it. You need distance, stillness, silence. That's where your soul starts to speak. And when it speaks, it doesn't scream, it whispers. But to hear it, you have to get quiet enough to truly listen. You have to turn down the world's volume and tune into your own frequency. Clarity doesn't come from constant motion. It doesn't come from running to everyone for advice or endlessly explaining yourself to people who don't understand your heart. Clarity comes when you stop outsourcing your truth and start returning to your own center. Silence becomes your mirror. It reflects back what matters and what doesn't. In silence, you see what's been distracting you. You notice which thoughts are loud but meaningless, and which ones are soft but powerful. You realize that many of the answers you were chasing in people, places, and noise were always within you. You just had to slow down enough to find them. It's in silence that your fears start to lose their grip. You realize how much energy you've wasted overthinking, over-explaining, and overcompensating. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need the world's approval to move forward. You need clarity, and that begins in solitude. We live in a culture that equates silence with weakness or uncertainty. But the truth is, silence is strength. It takes power to be still when everyone else is frantic. It takes courage to turn inward when the world begs you to react, but that's where transformation begins, in the quiet, in the pause, in the moments where you face yourself honestly and completely. So give yourself that silence. Let the world keep shouting. Let them guess your next move. Let them talk. You go within. You slow down, you listen, because the deeper you listen, the clearer you become. Not everybody deserves access to you. Your time, your energy, that's gold. Protect it. Don't waste it proving yourself to folks who don't even believe in themselves. There comes a point in life when you have to realize that you are the asset, not your job, not your car, not your following. You. Your energy, your peace, your ideas, your presence. That's what holds value. And when you understand that, you stop letting people have unlimited access to you just because they want it. Too often, we spend our lives trying to be everything for everyone. We give pieces of ourselves away to people who don't appreciate us, don't respect us, and in many cases, don't even know who they are. We answer calls we shouldn't, show up for people who wouldn't do the same, and stay in conversations that drain the life out of us, all to prove we're loyal, kind, or strong. But what good is being loyal to people who keep you small? What good is strength if it's always spent on the wrong battles? Your energy is your currency. You spend it every day and you never get refunds. So if you're constantly giving it to people who are emotionally bankrupt, you'll find yourself empty. And let's be honest, some folks don't want your help, they want your distraction. They want you stuck in the same place they are, because if you rise, it reminds them that they could have, but didn't. Not everybody can go with you to your next level. And that's not arrogance, it's alignment. When you're focused on growth, you can't afford to keep company with those who are addicted to comfort. When you value your peace, you don't entertain chaos just because it's familiar. When you know your purpose, you stop arguing with people who have no direction. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. If someone can't see your value, your silence will teach them better than your words ever could. Stop watering dead plants. Stop explaining yourself to closed minds. Stop fighting for space in places you've outgrown. You have a limited amount of energy each day, and that energy is sacred. It's meant for building, healing, creating, loving, and becoming, not for convincing. The people who truly see you, who truly support your journey, won't need explanations or performance. They'll respect your boundaries because they respect your essence. So start treating yourself like the valuable person you are. Set standards, set boundaries, and remember, not everyone deserves access to your mind, your heart, or your presence. Let them earn it. Let them match your energy. Let them rise to meet you. Because when you finally realize your worth, the game changes. You stop chasing and start choosing, and from that place you protect your peace like your future depends on it. Because it does. Let them sleep on you. Just don't sleep on yourself. They gone doubt you, laugh at you, overlook you. Good, keep building while they're busy judging. One day they'll be quoting you. In life, people will underestimate you. They'll ignore your potential, dismiss your efforts, and act like your dreams are too wild to become reality. That's fine, let them, because when they sleep on you, they're not harming your path. They're revealing their own limitations. The real danger isn't in others doubting you. The real danger is when you start doubting yourself, because they did. You are not born to be understood by everyone. Some people will never get your hunger, your vision, your grind, and that's not your problem. The problem begins when you lower your standards just to fit their comfort zone. When you start shrinking so you don't make others uncomfortable. But that's not why you're here. You're here to build, to become, to break through every doubt, including your own. Let them laugh, let them talk. Let them think you're just another dreamer who won't make it. What they don't know is that while they're sleeping on you, you're wide awake with discipline. You're reading, training, planning, practicing. While they waste time criticizing, you're quietly building something they'll one day wish they had supported. Greatness doesn't need applause in the beginning. It needs consistency, grit, and belief. You don't have to fight for their attention. You don't need them to clap for you. You just need to keep showing up for yourself every single day, no matter who's watching. And here's the truth. They might never see it coming. That's okay. It's better that way. Some of the most powerful stories start in silence and end in shock. While they sleep on your potential, your discipline is doing the talking behind the scenes. Your work is stacking. Your skill is sharpening, and your time is coming, because success doesn't beg for attention. It earns it. When your time arrives, they won't be able to ignore it. They'll act surprised. They'll say you came out of nowhere, but you'll know the truth. You didn't come out of nowhere. You came from grind, sacrifice, and 1,000 silent nights they never saw. So let them sleep on you, but whatever you do, don't sleep on yourself. Don't let their disbelief become your story. Your future isn't built on their words, it's built on your work. Stay focused, stay humble, stay dangerous, because the day will come when those who doubted you will look to you for inspiration. They'll quote the same voice they once ignored. And in that moment, it won't be about revenge, it'll be about confirmation that everything you built in silence was never in vain. Discipline is louder than motivation. I don't care how you feel, show up. You want to change your life. Start with your habits, not your hashtags. Motivation is temporary. It feels good in the moment. It's the spark, the fire, the hype, but it fades. It disappears the second things get hard, when life throws distractions your way, when you're tired or discouraged. That's why successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline, because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline just acts. You say you want to change your life, but you keep waiting for motivation to hit like it's some magical force. The truth is, if you only move when you feel inspired, you'll never go the distance. You don't get to transformation by posting quotes, setting goals once a year, or saying all the right things. You get there by doing the hard stuff daily, even when no one's watching, even when it's boring, even when it hurts. Discipline is the decision to show up, rain or shine. It's waking up early when the bed is warm. It's going to the gym when you're sore. It's putting in the work when no one is clapping. You don't build legacy on motivation. You build it on consistency, and consistency is born out of discipline. Most people want change, but they don't want routine. They want results, but not repetition. They want success, but not sacrifice. That's why hashtags and hype won't save you. What will? Structure, habits, none. Negotiables. What time do you wake up? What do you feed your mind? Who are you surrounding yourself with? These questions matter more than anything you post or say. You have to train your mind to do what's necessary, not what's comfortable. That's where the real growth happens. Motivation can light the fire, but discipline keeps it burning long after the excitement is gone. Discipline turns one good day into a lifestyle. It turns potential into power. You think the greats felt motivated every day. They didn't. They just got so committed to their vision that it didn't matter how they felt. They showed up, and that's why they're remembered. You want to rise. Build habits that don't depend on your mood. Set standards that don't change with your feelings, and remind yourself daily, feelings are fleeting, but habits are solid. They're the foundation. They're what hold you up when everything else is trying to pull you down. So stop chasing motivation, create discipline, show up tired, show up unsure, show up frustrated, just show up over and over again, because every time you do, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Motivation gets attention, but discipline gets results, and in the end, the ones who stay consistent will always outlast the ones who were just excited. Sometimes your silence is your strongest clapback. You ain't gotta fight every battle. Your glow up, your peace, that's your revenge. Let your silence preach. There's a power in silence that most people never tap into. We live in a time where everyone feels the need to respond. Every insult, every comment, every misunderstanding. People are addicted to proving themselves, defending their name, and clapping back at every little thing. But here's the truth. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. Real strength is measured not by how loud you are, but by how calm you remain when chaos is swirling around you. The ones who are truly dangerous don't yell, they don't explain, they don't perform, they rise in silence. They let their growth, their success, their peace speak so loud that it drowns out the noise. People will talk, they'll lie, they'll doubt you. They'll try to provoke you because your light bothers the darkness in them. But you don't need to stoop to their level to prove your power. You don't need to respond to rumors, defend every move, or explain your intentions to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Silence is strategy. While they talk, you're building. While they gossip, you're evolving. While they're waiting for you to fall, you're quietly stacking wins. That's how you win. By not reacting emotionally to every distraction. By staying focused when the world is trying to pull you off course. Let your silence be your filter. Every battle is not worth your energy. Some things are too small to respond to when your vision is big. You've got better things to do than fight battles that don't move you forward. Your peace is your power, and protecting it is the highest form of self-respect. You want real revenge, live well, get healthy, elevate. Become so focused and fulfilled that the people who once threw dirt on your name end up choking on your success. Let your new level make the noise. Let your transformation answer every insult they ever made. Because at the end of the day, the loudest thing you can ever say is nothing. Let them wonder. Let them sit with their assumptions. Let them drown in their own noise. You're not here to impress. You're here to become. And the truth is, your silence shakes more rooms than your words ever could. The right people will feel your absence. The wrong ones will fear your glow up, and you'll keep moving forward quietly and completely, leaving proof behind you that you never needed to respond. You just needed to rise. So remember, when they come for you with pettiness, bitterness, or jealousy, don't say a word, just level up. Let your silence preach.